Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's me, Clayton. I just got back from seeing Going in Style. Now, this film is a remake of a 1970s film of the same name. However, I have never seen it, so I will not make any comparisons. Apologies for that. But let's get to the story, shall we? The story is about three senior citizens, played by Michael Caine, Alan Arkin, and Morgan Freeman, who end up being flat broke, and they have responsibilities to their families, and Michael Caine's character is about to have his house foreclosed. So in order to get the money in a decent amount of time, since the pensions for the company they work for are also frozen, they decide to rob the bank that's been ripping them off, in the hopes of getting enough money to live happy lives and to fulfill their own goals. So, this movie is a fairly typical comedy, as while some jokes land, others don't, and it's really the performances of the actors that carry through the entire film. So, thankfully, this movie's actors are Alan Arkin, Morgan Freeman, and Michael Caine, so of course they pull off their performances very well. Even when the jokes fall flat, sometimes the delivery is what makes you laugh. Not just from those three, but also from some fun side characters played by Kenan Thompson, Christopher Lloyd, and a couple of other well-known actors you might know. This film doesn't really bring anything new to the comedy routine or even the bank robbery genre, but it's a fun ride in its own right, where its biggest problem is more the fact that it plays it safe. Where there's nothing really spectacular about the film, but there's also nothing that's glaringly bad about it either. All the storylines are wrapped up fairly well, and there's no real hint of a sequel, so that's good. All the characters are fairly one note, but the actors deliver their performances well. The music doesn't rely too much on mainstream pop songs, but it's not exactly a film that stands out in the musical department either. It certainly has a decent budget, but it doesn't exactly do a whole lot with it, and the jokes range from being kind of funny to chuckle-worthy to mild groan-worthy. It's very much a functional comedy, but the biggest problem is the fact that it doesn't really rise beyond just kind of entertaining. Despite the fact that clearly a lot of work went into it, and despite the fact that clearly these are three incredible actors who probably just deserved a better script. This movie was directed by Zach Braff, who I do legitimately like, despite the fact that he's made some films that I generally despise. And his direction is also just good, but just good enough for you to know that it's a big budget comedy. Like I said, when you go into this movie, you're getting exactly what you paid for. Just a fairly generic, though well-handled comedy of three senior citizens who rob a bank. It's pretty good on that note. It's bolstered by its actors' performances much more than the script, but nothing really stands out in this movie other than the fact that it is fairly unmemorable as a comedy, as a lot of the jokes have been done before and have probably been done better in other movies. So, this is a comedy that is legitimately funny at times, but also not exactly one that you'll really remember. You'll probably forget it the next day. So I'll give Going in Style a 7 out of 10. See you next time.